Guys, welcome back to our Shaanxi Times segment. In previous episodes, we've talked a lot about where to travel, different folk customs, different types of food, and cool hotels. But we haven't talked much about souvenirs. Well, last month we had the 2013 Shaanxi Travel Souvenir Contest, which took place at the West Market, or Datang Xishi in Xi'an. In total, there were 460 items that took part, 35 of which came away with awards. So in today's episode, why don't we have a look at some of the best. Firstly, we're going to have a look at some souvenirs that belong to the Qin dynasty. And of course, we can't escape this dynasty without terracotta warrior souvenirs. Now, they come in all shapes and sizes, like on keychains or as caricatures. And what about the famous warriors printed on a coffee cup? All good presents, no doubt, but there are other souvenirs like the Qin-style chessboard, and here you pull out the sword from the middle and it opens out into a chessboard. Pretty sweet. Now, what about souvenirs from the Tang Dynasty? Well, as you may know, the capital of the Tang Dynasty was Xi'an, and here you'll find a lot of Tang culture, like the famous show, The Soul of Endless Sorrow at the Huaqing Hot Springs. So it's no surprise to see dolls that are characters in this famous show get an award for one of the best souvenirs. Aside from the dolls, though, there is also the Tang odalisque ceramic statues, as well as other Tang features, like the Tang San Cai painting, which looks a lot like the original. The next one, I have to say, is my favorite from the Tang Dynasty. And that, of course, is this awesome eggshell, which has all the Shaanxi landmarks engraved on the sides. It's got the Dayan Ta, the ancient city wall, the Huangdi Mausoleum, and the Ansai waist drum, and much more. But that isn't even the best part. If you put an LED light to the bottom, it will produce some ancient music. Now, for all of you Chinese historians out there, you'll know that during the Tang Dynasty, there were two main markets, the East Market and the West Market. Now, the East Market served officers, generals, and other powerful figures, while the West Market was to serve the ordinary people. Now, the staggering thing is that both markets combined for over 40,000 stores from 220 industries, with an area that covered 100 million square meters. It was by far the biggest market in the world during the Tang Dynasty. So a great souvenir that represents this market is this little package containing a USB and a mouse, which are designed in a way that looks like ancient coins and relics. For those of you who prefer folk culture, well, let me introduce some souvenirs that won awards for representing that culture. The first one here is a painting made from things like dates and wheat. The second is what we call Kang Tou Shi Shi, which is famous in the northern regions of Shaanxi. These items were strapped to a baby's waist, actually, as a way to stop them from falling from their bed. It also happens to symbolize happiness, and each one will be passed down from generation to generation. What about the sculpture of this happy old man? Well, what's it made from? Well, it would be from inside of the jujube tree. The inner layer of a jujube tree is red in color, and the outer layer is white. The next folk culture souvenir depicts what is called the 8 strange customs of Shaanxi, and here they're all made of clay. The second one from the left is the mian tiao xiang yao dai, and that, of course, are the noodles that look like a waistband. You'll also notice that the guy is squatting on the bench rather than sitting, which is a very famous sight in Shaanxi. The third one on the left is the papa dou shang dai, and that is how Shaanxi people will randomly wear handkerchiefs on their head for no real reason. The man in the center represents Qinqiang Hou Qilai, which is a local opera that is performed by shouting vigorously rather than singing. Of course, there were others that got awards, but since we're almost out of time, we'll give you a brief rundown. You've got the Lantian jade products, the traditional handmade needlepoint technology package, the incense burner plate, the Huangdi portrait, and rapeseed flower series, among other things. So when you're in China next, you'll know exactly what to buy.